Hi there, and welcome to Marble Wolves TV again. Back again with a new video. Today, I want to talk about a certain someone who once won a World Cup for his country, Germany, and I'm not talking about Mustafi, and that's no disrespect to Mustafi. Oh, sorry, no disrespect to Mustafi. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss Mustafi, but no disrespect to Mustafi. As you can see on the screen, certain Mr. Mesut Ozil. Now, there are two conflicting reports, right? Um, that he can join Fenerbahce, and another report here that he's on the verge of joining. Hang on just a moment. Share screen. That he's on the verge of joining DC United in MLS. Um, Now, we know a lot of transfer speculation is often bollocks. Things concocted by clubs, players, even just media houses and websites and newspapers and TV channels, really just either to get traction or to put pressure on clubs to sell or to buy, or players just putting feelers out, agents putting out feelers. Um, so we know that a lot of speculation is often bullshit, but often in life there is no smoke without fire, right? And the fact that this has emerged, and the fact that he obviously has been frozen out of the team for reasons that we don't know of. It could be a dispute between him and Arteta. It could be something from higher up, from the KSC level, even. Who knows? But the thing is that I don't think it's just empty rumors, because I actually think Fabrizio Romano, who has kind of become the transfer don, as it were, um, in that he often gets things correct. He often has direct contact with agents and clubs. Um, he has actually said that we are looking to sell Mesut Ozil. Um, so I just want to share this. Hang on, just bear with me a moment again. So yeah, hopefully you can see this on the screen. That we are still working to sell players in the next days after Saliba and Kolasinac obviously both have got out on loan to Nice and what's his name, Schalke respectively. Genoa have asked for Socrates, Papastathopoulos, and we hope to sell also Mesut Ozil as soon as possible. Now, you know, Fabrizio Romano doesn't really lie or bullshit. You know, that's not really his game, as it were. So, in that capacity, we have to wait and see. So maybe there is some actual truth and traction to it all. And look, you can see a tweet here from Link Up Arsenal. Arsenal want to sell Ozil this January. There's interest from Fenerbahce, and obviously Fabrizio Romano, as you can see, there's retweeted it. So there probably is some good degree of truth behind it. So the thing with Mesut Ozil, right, is actually, you know what? I'll talk about this Socrates post here. So he's also from Mr. Romano's also saying Socrates Papastathopoulos will decide soon his next destination. Genoa and Fenerbahce have asked for the Greek centre back. Both clubs are pushing to sign him. He's leaving Arsenal in the next weeks. Well, good luck to him if that is the case. I don't think he's a bad defender, but clearly, when he first came, he offered us something different in terms of physicality. He was very old school, He reminded me kind of like a Martin Keown or esque defender. Even a Tony Adams kind of. Well, more so Keown. Keown was a bit more physical, and a bit more like in your face than Adams, I think, a bit. But I don't know. I think his positioning wasn't good, and he didn't really solve our defensive issues ultimately. I just don't think he had that presence that we needed. But you know, that's just sorry. I just saw this photo, so I just want to know what it was. Sloboslayer. Well, whether we had a chance of signing him remains. I honestly don't know. But going back to Mesut Ozil, then I want to discuss then Ozil at his time at Arsenal, and my views on Ozil personally are not as vitriolic as some others out there. I understand that those who don't like Ozil, that they're entitled to their opinion, and I can understand why they may not like Ozil. Mine, though, are a lot more, how can I put it? How can I put it? A lot more conciliatory, if that makes sense. A lot softer, if that makes sense. Um, so, you know what? I'm going to put a moment here. In a way, it's not so much celebration of Ozil, but certainly a bit of, as I say, my views on Ozil are not as, how can I put it? Not as, say, harsh as, say, other gooners and, well, YouTubers out there. So, you know what? I'm going to share another photograph or another page, which really, for me, outlines my own like feelings and views on Ozil. So just bear with me again. Share screen. Yeah. So hopefully now we have essentially my view on Ozil, or my defining memory of Ozil. Obviously, with people's views on Arsene Wenger can differ too, but look, Wenger is our greatest ever manager in terms of trophies won. Yes, you can say Graham and Chapman, even people like Bertie Mee, but even Terry Neal was maligned towards the end, like Wenger, but he still won a trophy. They have people like, what's his name, Jack Whittaker, George Allison. So, Wenger definitely stands amongst the very greats in our history. It's certainly in terms of trophies won, he is the greatest, but there's a reason I posted that. That's from the 2017 FA Cup final, when we beat Chelsea 2-1. It's over 3.5 years ago. We were underdogs. Obviously, Chelsea won the league quite convincingly. They got 90 points, but we basically were the better team on the day. We pressed them, and for me, that's probably the best game ever Mesut Ozil played. Like, everyone played well, but Mesut Ozil particularly. Sanchez was probably man of the match for me, but Ozil wasn't far behind. And yeah, Ozil for me was, frankly, I think that's one of the best games. I've seen him play at Arsenal. Now the thing with Mesut Ozil is that I believe when we signed him, everyone was excited. He was a world-class player at the time. He came from Real Madrid. He done his business with Ronaldo. obviously one of the GOATs without question. Um, but I think it was a sign that Arsenal had moved into a new era. That since we moved into the Emirates from 2006 to 2013, the club had basically been, how can I put it? The club basically had been un, under austerity because of the state. Not just that, but I think there was a pressure to ensure that the stadium really was paid for. And things did get touch and go because we did need the Champions League money. But I think as the Premier League money grew, and obviously sponsorships and commercial income grew, there was greater scope to sign top players, and that's what we did with Mesut Ozil, really. Um, so 2013 when we signed Ozil, that was a boom. Um, I wouldn't say it was when Arsenal, well, in a way it was that Arsenal had arrived, but Arsenal had come from the era of austerity and the so-called, I was going to say the banter era, but we're still in the banter era, let's be frank. But let's say the era where we had to play young players like Danielson and Bednar and Johan Duru and Senderos, and, largely because we were a bit hamstrung in getting the top quality. Yes, we got a Sharvin. But I think, other than Sharvin, I think Ozil was the first world-class player then in his prime. And yeah, it did signal that the club was willing to move in a new direction and in a new phase and in a new era, to compete again at the high end of the Premier League and, well, in Europe. And Ozil in his first season, 13-14, I think was very good. But obviously we won the FA Cup then in 2014. We won it again in 2014-15. Ozil then was good too. I think Ozil's best season was 2015-16, where he could have broken on his assist record. And really the team overall probably should have won the league. However, I think from 16-17, then 17-18, then last season, and obviously this season he hasn't featured at all. I think there was, from probably around 2017, a marked decline, if I have to be honest and have to be frank on the matter. Now, I think that, so if I had to judge Mesut Ozil over the course of his career, I think it's wrong to say he's offered us nothing. He has offered some positive moments, not just this cup final, but he's obviously got a lot of assists. He scored a lot of memorable goals. He has scored goals, I think, against every other Big Six team in some capacity. He scored against Spurs, against Man United. I believe he scored against Man City. He definitely scored against Chelsea. And he scored against Liverpool. He scored a wonder goal, really, against Liverpool. And also a free kick in 2014-15. So, plus he scored against Bayern. So to say Mesut Ozil's not done it in big games, well, look, that cup final you can see there, that was a big game. How can that not be a big game? So I think the thing with Ozil is that I think the club has to take some responsibility for why Ozil's not shone as we probably would have thought he would consistently. I think with a player like Ozil, you need to have a structure around him, because Ozil's like a very old school number 10, somebody who isn't all energy, but can have a spark, that can produce a pass, that can produce an assist or unlock a defense. So you need to have a structure around him with a number 9 who can drop deep and support him. Wide forwards, if let's say you're playing a 4-2-3-1, wide forwards who could come in and support him. You need to have 2, not so much DMs, but certainly 2 hard-working box-to-box players. So all players thrive in different systems and different structures and environments. It doesn't matter who you are. It can be Messi, Ronaldo. It doesn't matter who you are. Um, you know, because all players have strengths, they all have weaknesses, and a team is about a balance of accommodating each other's strengths and weaknesses. And it could be that at Arsenal we haven't really had that to help him to the fullest. Um, Maybe we haven't had the star strikers. Yes, we got Lacazette, yes, we got Aubameyang, but I'm not even saying that's to diss Giroud, but who knows? Maybe if we had a striker more prolific than Giroud, we could have got more from Mesut Ozil. Who knows? And also, I think Ozil perhaps has to take a bit of responsibility. Um, I think it's probably a bit harsh to say that he's lazy, but his style is not like an all-action number 10. Not like, say, how Cazorla was, or not like, say, today, like a Jack Grealish or Kevin De Bruyne or players like that, or Bruno Fernandes. I wouldn't say Bruno Fernandes is he's technical, but I wouldn't say he has that inspirational pass. Not really. Um, so, yeah. Um, I just think that, as all, if I had to grade his time at Arsenal out of 10, look, there's still no guarantee that he'll go, but the indication is that he may. And that's why I have to stress what it is, an indication. Mesut Ozil, for me, if I had to grade him out of 10, I'd probably say a 5. I think there have been some good moments, but the good moments, in my view, have been, frankly, few and far between. Um, so, in this capacity, um, then, I think Ozil has probably not excelled to the degree that he has, but I still, thank him for what he's done. If this story is just an indication, let's be frank. Let me reiterate: it's an indication. It's not a hard and fast thing. It's an indication. But in that capacity, if he does go, and that still is a big if. I wish him the best. I genuinely do. I wish him the genuine best. It hasn't worked out, towards the end, and we can speculate what has happened between him and the club. Obviously, I believe something probably quite. Look. We can just speculate what's happened. It's obviously something quite deep for him to be totally excluded from both, even the Europa League squad. But personally, I think, if he does leave, and that is a big if, I do think that, I wish him the best. It hasn't worked out fully at Arsenal that we probably would have hoped, but yeah, as I said, I genuinely do wish him the best, and I have no hard feelings towards him, and I just wish him the best if he goes to Fenerbahce, or if he goes to what's his name, um, DC United in MLS in the United States. I just think that's how life works sometimes. you can make a choice with the best of with the best intentions and the best hopes, but it doesn't always come out as one would hope. So yeah, in that sense, then yeah, I'm waffling a bit, but to forgive me for that. But yeah, I do wish Mesut all the best if he does leave either this January or in the summer or the end of the season. And yeah, no hard feelings towards him. Um, Things don't always work out as we would intend in life. Um, that life is unpredictable. Things can happen. So good luck, Mesut, if you go to America or if you go to Turkey. Obviously, Turkey's his ancestral home. Well, obviously, he's born in Germany. He must feel German, and he did represent Germany, obviously, to distinction in the to win the World Cup, the highest accolade of football. So, yeah, all the best, Mesut. Good luck, and yeah, um, you know, uh, thanks a lot for listening, everybody.